about string theory, the base of materialization in the nearest future. Discussion with Uxtukulur, Ph.D. in molecular physics. I have explained already how space is created. Our self-consciousness represents the dynamics of the certain levels of energy plasma. What is energy plasma? Energy plasma is the result of interaction of an infinite set of force fields. Force fields are fields consciousness, some manifestations of collective intelligence creativity in the definite creative activity direction, which is initially accomplished. Do you think, is this detail clear or not? Which is initially accomplished, which already exists. Well, the point is that activity here implies certain process dynamics, therefore the inertia is manifested already. But when we say that it exists already, then we kind of close this question. That is, the creative activity has here some different interpretation. Yes, manifestations of inertia refer only to separate levels of this collective consciousness. Some people call this as matrix, but it's very simplified. They have in mind something more restrictive by this. Energy plasma is much deeper and wider than this notion. Why do I explain that? Because I use the term energy plasma very often, and this notion is a fundamental conception of Iissiidiology. The word energy is understood well, and plasma isn't the kind of plasmic state which we imply even on the level of nuclear interactions. It is much more deep and refined and high in regard to its energy potential than any parameters in internuclear interactions. It is high because here we are limited with the forces and fields, which we usually call as boson fields, or forces, which we call particles and fermion fields. Actually, talking about that, we talk only about our surrounding reality, about what we are. Because we and those subjects which surround us are the result of interaction between these particles and fields, and they're followed by other processes which we are simply unable to understand, because their nature is completely different. And because the direction of the force interrelations between them is completely different from another one particular to creation of these words. One more detail. Our notions about dimension, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 12th, dimensions are too sketchy. As I tried to explain in the book about immortality, it is because dimensions in our reality capture by themselves some specific diapason of force interactions of electric and magnetic fields. It is the certain specific diapason of electromagnetic interaction. Oops! And this has created some quantum dynamics in our perception. Electromagnetic interaction has created space on the level of thought and feeling. I want to bring you to understanding that we generally bundle information of photon fields. Information which goes through photons, which penetrates our surrounding space by means of what we call light, electromagnetic radiation. We bundle this information with our own self-consciousness, and our self-consciousness is just only a set of some waves which we call thoughts. Definite configuration and frequency of these waves reflects them as thoughts, and some other frequency reflects them as feelings. But neither thoughts nor feelings don't exist separately. There is no bare thinking, because the structure of our self-consciousness, its activity, specifics is such that we accept any information through feelings perception. We wrongly consider only thought as information, because this thought transforms to information through our associate perception, which is feeling perception inherent in our nature. Only this way. But we're unable to perceive bare information. Even me, while taking information on very high dimensions levels, make it specific only because I pass it through my own vision, my personal feelings, that is, through my own forms, through my own conceptions about the surrounding world, and try to comprehend this. But I won't tell you what these dimensions levels are, because I don't even know thereof. This is the real base of the future bundling process of electromagnetic fields and obtaining material objects of any kind. This is the base of materialization in the nearest future. We can start to imagine anything very clearly. For example, one can imagine an apple in meditation. It doesn't exist close to us. It's absent in the space, but it's in our imagination. And I can concentrate on this apple so strongly that I feel its taste. I feel as it crunches. When I start to manipulate it, start to bite, I feel this bite in my mouth. I see clearly how this beaten apple looks like, what volume it occupies in my hand. I even can feel it in my hand, see clearly the color of its pulp, how it is reflected, separate cells in this apple, how precisely they are designed, formed, or it could be a watermelon. And this will become a reality for me. I can eat this apple in meditation without having it. I can feel all the pleasure which I couldn't experience while virtually eating it during our conversations. What am I doing? I am bundling. This is relative notion. This is my terminology. I bundle one information with another information, with my own information, with those memories which I got from that situation where I ate this apple. The same refers to any other action, how I carried it out, to any associations it provoked in me, in my mind. And that's what I transform to some mental form, and this mental form becomes real for me. Everybody close to me take me as a man who's just sitting or sleeping or concentrated on something. But actually, I am eating an apple and enjoying its taste or do anything whatever I want. For example, having sex. Our self-consciousness is such that it can materialize for us any source of our desire, which has information laid in our experience. The things I know I can get out of myself and representing a very clear look from every side, every quarter. The materialization in the future will be carried out in exactly the same way. A certain scanning of object on the wave level and reproduction of these waves in space. This will become the base of the nearest future technologies. I don't know, maybe this will become possible due to the fact that scientists will start to perceive the surrounding reality from the position of Iissiidiology, from deeper understanding. Maybe this will remove such primitive approach as like atoms and molecules interact with each other.